So, after the disappointment of that last match, Anthony Morris and his partner Beth Neil have got to dust themselves down and go again. The game is still in their own hands at the moment. If they can pick up a win here, as Liam's just explained, that can really turn things back around. But whoever loses this match will be out of contention. A draw, a possible result, but not an ideal one for either pairing. Really, only the win is a help, so both teams are going to have to go all out for it.
Yeah, it's a nice control break there from Anthony. It's controlled the cue ball well, and you saw the 8 ball was actually tracking to the corner pocket, as we see here. Just stopped by the yellow and ended up potting the yellow. Tough first shot for Beth. Played it well. And that was better. Left the perfect angle for Anthony to pot this yellow into the bottom right and go into the red.
For Beth in particular, I think just getting the first frame on the board that she's been involved in winning is going to be a key part of tonight. So we see her partner throw another slightly wild-looking one.
Yeah, but if you're gonna miss, don't leave the opponent another shot. And you see Anthony having a little grin there. He's realised he's got a little bit fortunate. Not left Greg and Claire an easy starter. As you see, he's got to play a 3-ball plant.
Yeah, even for a player as good as Greg, that was a high tariff first shot. So, straight back in with another opportunity.
So with this, again, Beth doesn't need to pot here. She could, if she wanted, to just play this yellow and get the cue ball behind the other yellow and wait for another opportunity. It's probably not the right way to go, but it's an option.
Not a good miss, but it's not a terrible miss given the position she's going to leave.
We had a little ripple from the audience have come on there. And just trying to G Greg and Claire up.
It can sometimes be the problem when you lose in the second match of the night, you're straight back on in the third one. You can go from not having been on the table to suddenly the night can be all over very quickly if you're not careful.
And Claire's played a nice shot there and left Greg the double. This is the key shot of the frame. It's wide.
So, third good chance of the frame already, even though it's very early stages still.
Yeah, and the more misses that are happening in these frames, the more vital getting this victory is, because for every miss you're taking more time out of that clock. And Anthony's not left Beth the proper angle here.
Yeah, he played the ball over the pocket, not the other one, because he thought he could leave a kind of guaranteed angle, finishing high on the yellow so the white was naturally tracking down. He's now left Beth with a lot more to do.
Yeah, she's going to have to play it with stun round the rails, but can she manipulate the angle?
Well, it could have been worse in the circumstances. It's not ideal, but they can see the yellow at the bottom. I think the higher of the two yellows will just pass the other one, I think, but it's a thin clip.
So Beth having a look at where she's left Anthony, and he's just looks like he's trying to find that safety shot, but it's hard to leave the cue ball with the opponent with no shot, and he's played a clever one there, and that's what we call the Chinese snooker.
It's a shot you very rarely see played when people deliberately play it like that, but it's actually a very powerful shot because the cueing is super awkward, cueing right over a ball.
Especially if I'm playing the shot. I have all the opponents always trying to leave me this shot. I think we've just heard the referee call a foul. He's just going to check it.
So the referee just going to have a look at the slow motion replay there, just see whether that was a foul.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is he thinks Greg's played out of turn. Greg did play the shot before, which he missed, and then Greg's obviously played that shot again. So I think that's a great spot there by the referee, 𝗟𝗡𝗃𝗍𝗍𝗏, that what's happened is Greg and Claire have played out of turn.
We touched on this earlier on when we were talking about the players getting the break wrong. It sounds so idiotic to do this, but it's actually so easy in this format to forget who played the last shot.
Yeah, as we saw Claire just slap Greg on the knee, then they've realised what they've done. Yeah, the ref's just coming back out to the arena now, and he has had it confirmed. Greg has played out of turn, and it's a foul ball in hand.
And what a bonus this is. Not only back to the table, but back to the table with ball in hand, which means they can place the ball down this bottom end of the table in amongst their work.
You see Beth's grabbed the cue ball to make sure that the right opponent plays the shot.
Yeah, you can see what Anthony is suggesting there. They really want to take the right hand of these two yellows, because then they can leave the one to the middle next. It's just a case of reaching for it. That's the thing that Beth's worried about. Doesn't got to do too much with it though, just make sure of the pot. Run the cue ball forward slightly.
Key is don't move and just stay still. Played it well. Again, Anthony just needs to make sure he leaves Beth a little bit of an angle, doesn't want to be straight, and that's perfect.
Doesn't need to be greedy here, just you can see where he's pointing with his hand, just leave an open shot at this 8-ball.
Great shot.
Played that really well. Well, it was a chance they shouldn't have had, but that out of turn shot from Greg Davis has proved costly in the first frame. A relief for Anthony and Beth as they get that frame on the board.
And as we touched on with the Scotch frames, it is alternative shot, and it's, as we said, there's going to be a lot of misses within the Scotch frames. It's easy to forget who played that last shot, and that's what we've just had there. And you can see how critical it is and how much it can punish you. So we're going to see the singles frames now, first round of the singles frame. So it's Greg, and I think he's playing Beth.
We haven't talked so much about Greg as an individual player, but he is an IPA pro. He's a very experienced player. Not one of those big names that everyone's talked about, but somebody that's ground out some consistently good results over the years.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised with the breaks like that. And I think he just needs to settle into the night. He's not really been able to show his best form, but he's got a starter on yellows. And he's just looking at where he needs to get the cue ball round by the 8-ball for his second shot. He's playing the one to the right centre first. He's just ran it short, and he's straight away out of position, and we've got a key shot coming up, and he's got to play this yellow to the bottom right and come round 2 rails. And can he aim for the red that's in the centre of the table?
Well, is it a different red? That's not what he wanted at all.
No, and if Anthony is seeing it, there's a great loss of turn shot, but I think Beth's seeing it straight away herself. Leave the cue ball pretty much where that red is and play the loss of turn. Don't want to track too far up.
She's just going to roll too far. They may just be able to get to the potting angle. Don't know if you can clip the one to the middle. I think you can see the ball to the corner if not. Yeah,
and I think even if it looks like it can see the one to the middle, but even if he plays the one to the corner, the cue ball can go into the other yellow and pot it into the middle pocket as well, so you could essentially play a 2-in-1 shot.
Yeah, and he's played the pot and developed the ball in the process. Just that one roll from Beth has just made such a difference. If Greg's snookered there, he obviously can't play that shot. From Greg's point of view, what he really just wants is a boring frame here. He just wants a singles frame where he gets to the table, gets a chance and clears up. These Scotch doubles frames, you can see so much drama, but he just wants to get himself back into this match.
Yeah, he's cued that well. And this will settle him in, and this will do his confidence the world of good. So to pull it back, 1-1. Simple 8-ball into the top right corner pocket. And it's there. And that was big, and you see he upped his pace a little bit there. There's still over 10 minutes left in this match, so there's plenty to go at. And we're on to the other singles frame now, so it'll be Claire against Anthony. And you think that this one's vital for the direction of the match.
So this match set up well, just under half the match clock used. One frame apiece as Anthony Morris breaks off in frame 3.
And that's a great break from Anthony there. First shot is key in this frame. Play the yellow into the top right pocket and have a soft cannon. And if he gets this right, the finish is on. Just working that out, and there you go. Red seemed the wrong option for me. There's a lot more traffic to work with, but each to their own. He's got judges using the rail and the yellow. Make sure he's got an angle, but just still in with a shout if that red goes into the right centre after this shot. It's thin, it's missable, and he's stretching. He's played that well, and he's even got the angle where he can just run through, and you see where he's just put his cue towards the yellow. But if he hits it full and he'll end up too high on the red. So probably needs to draw it off the side rail behind the 8-ball. And that's a nice flick.
Yeah, that's a lovely flick, isn't it? That wasn't guaranteed by any means. He played a good line to get position, but this has turned out really well.
It was risky, but when there's risks, there's rewards. Just needs to make sure he gets the right angle on the last red. And again, he's going to have traffic. I think it may be worth just... Looks like he's got enough angle to top off the bottom rail and come up towards the centre of the table. See where he's just put his cue. Use the yellow as his guide. He didn't want the land behind the yellow, and I think he's just okay. And this 8-ball is huge.
Can he see the full potting angle? Looks like he can from his demeanour.
Certainly missable.
Oh, great shot from Anthony Morris. Well, he did that one the hard way.
Yeah, he'll be chuffed with that. It's a great finish. He found his route. And in the context of the night, that 8-ball is huge. So we're back round to the pairs frame, the Scotch frames now. With Anthony and Beth at a 2-1 lead. So Greg and Claire have to win this frame, but what they also have to do, because as you said, a draw is probably no good for either pairing, they need to play at a quicker pace to give themselves a chance to win that last frame.
Usual situation here, the referee just trying to find the 8-ball. I feel a bit for Greg and Claire here. It feels like they've played a pretty solid standard of play tonight. They seem to have done a whole lot wrong, but just quite had the chances. They're definitely amongst the favourites for this group, although they themselves were understandably playing it down given what an open format it is. So, important fourth frame this. Greg Davis steps up to break. We're back to the Scotch doubles. Does make a ball.
Yeah, he makes a ball and a little bit of work while throwing the pretty much off the rails near the centre of the table. They've sort of blocked each other and there isn't a natural pattern for the finish. So there's an argument for either colour set. Claire's going for red since she's attacking to bring out the 8-ball first shot, but there's no position, and that was the risk. It doesn't look like they're actually on a shot.
Yeah, 5 reds on the table, but all down that same line. That yellow is playing very big in the middle of the table.
Just need to make sure they get a hit here. It's okay.
Yeah, that was the priority. Just make sure you don't give away ball in hand at least.
Yeah, and you can see they've realised they've upped the pace and they've actually had a result there where they've not left anything easy for Beth and Anthony, but they're going to play a little bit of cat and mouse. Anthony and Beth are probably going to look to run down the clock, and they're just going to tie the 8-ball up, play the plant on the yellows and tie the 8-ball. Not enough. So this is a chance. We're in the 15-second shot clock of the match. And that's a nice shot. Oh, I think the red does still go. So all these reds have a pocket. They need to pot this and take track over for the 2 reds on the left-hand side of the table. So they want ideally for the yellow to be the right, so the red to the right centre to be the last ball.
Well, could that be costly? Not a bad shot from Claire, but just hangs the ball. Yeah. Greg had played a really good previous shot. It was difficult to check the ball up as much as he did.
Miss is huge. So what Anthony could do is pot this and stun over to the left-hand side. And I don't think he's seen the shot. He could have played the loss of turn and got the cue ball behind the other yellow. Whereas I can still understand this shot though. He's just hoping for Beth to put the yellow over the pocket, which she's done, but the 8-ball does go into the top left-hand pocket. So this is still an opportunity for Greg and Claire.
And it's one they've got to take. There's no point in Greg and Claire playing a containing game. They've just got to play swiftly.
They have. This is not the easiest positional shot because the red looks so far over the pocket. Claire's not left the best angle. She's going to be left with a skill shot on the 8-ball.
Yeah, just caught a bit of the jaw there, didn't she, that she didn't want.
Yeah. He doesn't need to be on the rail.
The fact that the yellow's well in the pocket makes this a playable shot, but it's tough off the rail like this, especially when it's not dead straight. Oh, what a good shot that is. That's an excellent bit of cueing from 𝗟𝗡𝗘, and when they needed it most, because if they lose that frame, they're in all sorts of trouble.
Just to keep yourselves in the night. What a shot.
One of the biggest moments of the night for sure so far.
And if Claire and Greg end up being victorious tonight and getting through, they'll look back on that shot as the night-saving 8-ball.
Yeah, I mean, it could so easily be, couldn't it? Because they have got time to win another frame, and if they could somehow snatch the win here, looks like they've forgotten whose break it is now, and wisely asking the referee before whose shot it is next, so they don't get into that trouble again.
Yeah, so this time it's Greg against Anthony, and there's 2 minutes left, so there's plenty of time. Needs a ball. Gets one. But does he have a shot? He's got to go yellows.
So he can play the yellow to the top right. Don't think he's got anything else easy.
No, but they do all actually connect. So as long as he's seen the route, has he gone?
He's gone reds.
He's gone reds, which is a surprise because, mind you, he's on the awkward red now. So he's got to play this and come round 2 rails round the back of the reds.
That was a big shot. It was all about that red. If that one goes down, the clearance is there.
There is enough time for Greg here, as long as he can see the yellow up to the top left, which he can. And he's just gone favourite for win the match, and I think this will be a new territory for Greg. Playing at this speed.
Yeah, he's got to get on with it. He's only got a minute remaining. He's still got 6 pots to find. I mean, you're always caught in this position where you're still leaving enough time for your opponent. You obviously don't want to miss, but he's soon going to get to the point his opponent doesn't have time for a counter clearance, so it's all on him.
And this is the key shot now. He's got to pot this yellow, hold on the red to be on the one to the right, to the yellow to the right centre.
He's got to get on with it. He's taking a bit too much time at this point. Now the route is clear. He's just got to pot the balls. 25 seconds remaining.
That's good. Just draw the cue ball back. You haven't got time to check.
Surely he's not going to run out of time from this position. This is a waste. This was a good chance for Greg Davies. I don't think he's going to have time.
Not when the cue ball's travelling. Needs to hurry up.
So, is this going to be the ultimate buzzer beater? Yes, it is. Well, didn't he make that difficult for himself? Greg Davies looked like he'd run the clock down on himself, and then at the absolute death, pulls out the buzzer beater. And what a key match that could be. Phenomenal skill shot from 𝗟𝗡𝗘 to get them back into it. And then, what drama. Greg Davies eventually getting the black down. And they will be by far the happier of the players as they go back to their chairs. Let's take a quick break. Back with more very shortly.